Hello, this is Jim Skelly, and this is the third of the mini lectures for the fall of 2010 in the Global Conversation. I want to say that I've been especially pleased with all of the activity that I see in the various course forums. There seems to be a great deal of conversation occurring, and I'm particularly pleased by this. This is exactly what we hope will happen during the course. And I hope you're gaining a great deal of information from that. We're looking at a couple of themes this week in the course that I want to talk about. First, however, I'd like to say to you that we'll be posting the preliminary lists of the learning circles tomorrow morning, and so you should be looking for that. I'll be sending you a message about it as well. I also want to point out that there's an interesting podcast at the journal Nature, which is about the problem of rivers throughout the world. Rivers are in trouble, and therefore we are in trouble because we're dependent on river water, and the report suggests that as many as 5 billion of the 7 billion people on the planet may be at risk because of the problems with water. And even in rich countries like the United States, the rivers are in trouble. So I'm going to point you to that when I send you the email this evening or tomorrow morning that I usually follow these podcasts with. You'll have a chance to take a look, to listen to that podcast. It's about 8 minutes long, which will give you some sense of what's happening with rivers around the world. Now, I wanted to just point to a couple of things in the we're looking, among other things, at ourselves this week. And there's a fabulous video that we take a look at called The Century of the Self. We only look at part one of it. There are 4 parts, and the other 3 parts are listed under Resource Library section number 4. So if you want to take a look at the rest of it, please feel free to do so. I'd recommend it. You'll find this video, The Century of the Self, Part 1, particularly interesting, not least, because I think it will give you a sense of how you've been created as a consumer, how all of us have been created as consumers. You should also take a quick look at the ironic video, The Good Consumer, which talks about our obsession with shopping. But among the things that the Century of the Self highlights is the way in which women were manipulated about 100 years ago, a little less than 100 years ago, into smoking cigarettes. A wonderful thing to do, and you'll find some interesting, an interesting story about the origins of this, and the complicity of the father of public relations, Edward Bernays, in a project to get women to smoke, because essentially the tobacco companies understood that they were missing out on 50% of the market, because back in the early part of the 20th century, women didn't smoke too much. Now they smoke much more, and in fact there are increasing numbers of young women who are smoking rather than young men. Also in theme number 5, Earth, Our World, don't miss this wonderful video by Jan, I'm forgetting the whole name now. I'm sorry. But it's called Home. I think it'll inspire you and give you a different picture of our planet. So do take a look at that. The other thing I wanted to point out to you this week is has to do with an experience I had, and one which I would like your help with. I was in London a few days ago to talk with people at the Foundation for International Education, because they would like to consider including the Global Conversation in their course offerings. So I was staying at a very nice hotel near their offices. near their center. And when I got up, the hotel is the Crown Plaza Hotel. It is in Kensington, right in next, for those of you who know London, right next to the Gloucester Road station of the London Underground. Now, when I got up and went and had breakfast, one of the things that happened was that immediately the people who had been sitting at the next table to me after they had left, the staff of the hotel came over, the waiting staff came over to clean up the table. And they started spraying some stuff on it. All of you have seen this in restaurants, I'm sure. They come and they spray something on it and then they wipe it up. And I was sitting there by myself and I thought, I wonder what's in it. It smelled of ammonia. I felt like I was inhaling ammonia. So I asked the young woman to show me the bottle, and it said just something. It said D20, I think it is, or D10. At any rate, this item, it turns out, is something called Sumabac D10. And Sumabac D10 is deeply problematic. It would seem, if you read the labels, read the safety information on it, but the hotel didn't seem to think so. I asked for more information about Sumabac D10, and they sent me a nice little letter. They also sent me a copy of the safety report that Kensington and Chelsea Town Council require of them. So I have that report and I have the letter from the people at Crown Plaza. I'm going to post those in a separate course discussion forum. I'd like you to take a look at them and help me find every piece of information that we can about some of the ingredients in Sumabac D10. What I would like to do is raise the issue with the international intercontinental hotel chain and say, why are you using this stuff when there are organic cleaners widely available? They're a threat not only to the customers at the hotel, but even more obviously to the staff that has to use them. So I'm going to ask you, you'll see there's a word that's got about 27 letters in it. It's alkylmethyl ammonium chloride that I think was the stuff that I was smelling. So please take a look at this. I'll post the letter and the 2 sheets of the safety data for you to take a look at. And then if you'd try to start engaging in your own research about this, I think it'd be very helpful. Anything you can find out, post in that forum, and let's see if we can't change the behavior of the Crown Plaza hotel chain and perhaps even the broader company, the Intercontinental Hotels. I'll follow this closely with you, and I really would appreciate it if you would work with me on this. As I said, I'll post the information about learning circles. It should be up certainly by noon Irish time tomorrow. I hope you've been enjoying the course. I know that's probably not always the word you want to use, but there is a tremendous amount of interesting information in this course, and I do think it probably is already started to have a profound effect upon your lives. So have a good week, and I will be in touch with you again next week, and you'll see some postings from me in the interim. Bye for now.